guys, how's it going? So, as you might imagine, there is a new event. Everbright City's going on. You might be wondering, alright, so what do we got here? So we got the Sovereign Dragon, every 5 seconds, a Divine Hand, dealing 1,000 current basic AoE. Okay. Now the items of question. Under the dome, as you may remember, this one's kind of handy. So if you want to get it, might be a good opportunity to grab it. Phoenix Frost. This is the creme de la creme item from this event, because you're going to get a 5% loss in HP. You're going to get a 30% block and damage. That's huge. So a lot of people are going to want to pick up that. Overall, now you might be thinking, okay, what's that going to take? Well, luckily, getting, say, one of these is only 500 draws. Getting this is 1,000. Now, I don't know. 1,000 basic AoE damage is good, but I honestly would rather have the Phoenix Frost for a back accessory if I was going to get one. Now, that said, we do have Chief Challenge. So you gotta basically knock out rats as they come for the food table. So as you might expect, it's a whack-a-mole game. Not a whole lot to it. It's just whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole. Whack. Whackity-whack. And, it's... The only thing that is challenging about this event, I think, is... you're basically trying not to get hit. Which, as you can see, I've already lost one of my HP. And that's just partly not from tapping. That's like maybe the only danger here. But, I mean, other than that, man, we've only got 23 seconds left. And it should be reasonably easy to get around. I always save the hammer, though. And that's when, you usually want to use it once everything gets really crazy. Which doesn't normally get to that point unless you're like in the last few seconds. But like this time around, it's no biggie. And it gets more difficult the more rounds you go into it, But basically then you just grab your tasks, get your items, and obviously the further down the road, you're going to get some fortune slips and you're going to get some chest keys. Now, other than that, there's Starry Reflections, so you've got some puzzles that you can do. The float parade's basically the main draw. And again, another opportunity to grab the wonderful 6% drop in damage alpaca. So you've got an opportunity at that if you would like to grab it. But basically crystal pouches are what you're going to use, and 90% of what you're going to be grabbing. That said, then you can always jump back in here, use a fortune slip, and get yourself some items. Now, out of that, it's, just like any event, you've got some items in here that are going to be kind of nice. Of course, with the update, you guys probably noticed that they added runes, and they've added rebirth, and they've added a lot of other stuff. One of the things I thought I'd go ahead and show you is, so I've got a handful of different pet combinations here. But you can now actually change the growth on something. And basically what rebirth is it allows you to reroll the growth. So if you happen to get the correct affixes on the correct avian, you can just buy rebirths and then basically get the desired set of affixes on that avian. Which is kind of nice. You don't have to necessarily reroll like a bunch of times like I've been doing. And it's nice that they've added it, but it's kind of cruel in the fact that by the time they did add it, it's like, oh man, it would have been nice to have seen that sooner. But yeah, it is what it is. In any case, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to basically run some draws here. I'm going to see if we can get ourselves some desired. I'm looking more importantly at what those skill tabs are. I'm trying to see if we can pair one up with the dire event. Of course, I don't know. We may get lucky and get something like Terminal Strike in there if we can. We can always go by affixes as well. So, like, for example, maybe I want to bring an affix like this over. There's always the option of, like, going out and let's say we go and grab. And again, you always want to try to kind of, I would say, like, move them up in a way. So, like, here, this one's got debuff immunity. It's got, heck, 3 different kinds of event. Well, so, like, some of these are kind of good, some of them are not so good. It just depends. Like this, very good. So we'll go ahead and switch that and see what we can get for, a reward on that. And so basically now you can go over here and you'll notice that, yeah, there is that new alien rebirth tab. Oh, so like right there we go. So we've got all around hit, terminal strike, squishy, and enhance. That's nice. These two, not so much. So we'll go ahead and scrap those two. But that's what I like to see, because those two are both going to be really handy. So we can use that later. Of course, we've got 4 breeding bases, so we'll kind of look at it later. But basically, yeah, so what you can do now is, let's say you've got a rebirth that's you would really like to have. So, like, maybe you're, only 0.2, 0.3, or 0.4 away from making it worthwhile. You can run a rebirth on it. Again, I've got a lot of different avians here to poke through, but it's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. Of course, as always, guys, you want to save your Lucky Spinner tokens if you haven't already been doing that. They've got Blue Queen, Round Frog, and Purple Wing out right now. And, of course, if you want to save some money, make sure to check the description down below and use my 5% code for Aptoid. And just type in Dakanoth in the rewards section inside the AppCoin wallet. And basically, when you download both the game and the description and then pick it up and download it and log in, and then once you've got the AppCoin wallet, it's relatively straightforward from there as far as buying items, but you can save 5% of your money back on any items. And of course, you can get even more than that the more you spend. But now, of course, you might notice that they do now also have a Star Hero Pass, and this is relatively new as well. So, if you wanted to pick up some extra items on, say, like your actual Star Heroes now, you have an opportunity to grab these as well as, do the missions for them. So, like, right now, if I was to go and, we'll go ahead and spend the gold here, but basically now if I go out and do a salt lamp real quick, it's kind of neat actually with all the new updates. So they've made it so Star Pass is going to really kind of help anybody or everybody that's wanting to pick up and balance on some of these newer Star Hero cards. It's not going to be as bad as it was anyway. I mean, it's by and large a big change that I really kind of congratulate Sin, because anything or everything that's going to allow the players to get access to that stuff is going to be a net bonus in the end, and so I'll go ahead and grab. And again, I like to make sure I try to get as much as I can possible. We're going to dump that into that, and we will go ahead and see if we can upgrade our HP here and upgrade our defense a little bit. Of course, I don't really need... We might do that. We'll just grab Wound, because it's not really a bad thing to have. And grab our Soul Trial bonus here. Alright, so... And then, of course, now we got all our tokens and everything else that comes along with it. But, the nice, cool thing is that you also have a reappearance of the Knight Sprite Fox. So anybody that's wanting to run a mage, you guys can grab that during the event. But, of course, one of the major things that, again, going back to, of course, we got all this stuff too. There's always a lot of stuff here that you can grab. It's kind of a ridiculous amount, honestly, but I'll see, like here, I'll show you. I don't do terribly well in this, and part of the reason why is just because I'm dealing with a lot of players that are really, really heavy pay to win. So it's not like a walk in the park to get anywhere near those guys, but I get close, or at least close enough anyway. But yeah, now that we've actually got the Star Hero Pass, for $10 you can grab all those extra tokens, and then plus you notice that there is another one particular Nature's Keeper in there. Now you might be wondering, well, what exactly is that? So if we go back to the Star Hero draw here, and again, I've always said, you can basically pick these up within reason, It's not too tricky. You're going to get a couple draws a day. We're just going to go ahead and go through a couple, because why not? Every once in a while we'll get an extra, and that's okay. So now we got, 34 more till we get something good. But the main thing to look for here is you've got shards, you've got, the pools, which, again, I'm really hoping I can get the three dog at some point. That'd be really nice. But out of all of them, you notice that the SSR for purple is down in here. Now, you may be wondering, like, okay, so what exactly is it? What, and it's, of course, I've got to raise a star here. Go ahead and get the star raised. But, gosh, a lot of people, if they don't already know, basically what that is it's going to give you a chance on crit to reduce their attack by 5%. And then, of course, the passive skill increases crit rate, which that's handy. So if you aren't paying attention to that, you probably should. But the reason I said I want the Barbarian Overlord is simply because of all the bonuses that it gives you for combo multiplayer and crit damage, which for me would be a huge bonus. That is not to say that you couldn't, potentially look at Storm Dominion, which is going to give you some basic attack and crit hit damage. You could also go with Holy Defender, which is going to help with skill damage. And, everybody's got a different card in here that they're going to want to grab. Now, I did grab some new ones, which is to say now I've got single target counter, I've got, massive stun rate bonuses, I've got base crit damage, and crit rate bonuses here and there. There's lots of different flavors to choose from in here now. I'm still kind of working with this particular set at the moment. And this, really, the main thing I see with this is every time you kick off your active skill, it's going to do a stun. And then with the main active skill increasing damage resistance by 4%, it's kind of handy to use it that way. But the main skill is giving me some attack and then 12% defense. If I was to switch out anything, it's probably going to be, sooner or later, it's going to be over in the developing star array. Just because right now I'm getting clock winders extra, magic lamps. So, it's all stuff that, if you ain't already, make sure you check that stuff out, guys. And thanks for watching.